Paromitar Ek Din is about the friendship between two individuals. To me it is significant because these individuals happen to be a mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law, and they are in the traditional role of adversaries rather than friends, because that's how they have been perceived in Indian society. But I think that today, with divorces having become commonplace, I was very curious about what happens to the relationships that take place through marriage when the marriage itself dissolves. Because this is a commonplace occurrence today, and a sign on a dotted line, does it mean the end of all the other relationships? Because in our society, a woman doesn't simply marry a man, she weds the whole family.
Now tell me, who's the writer of this story?
Yours truly, myself.
Okay, then why have you chosen particularly this kind of topic? Any reason?
Well, as I just said, I have been very interested. First of all, I've been very interested in human relationships, because I think human relationships are the only thing that matter today. I mean, because everything else is so uncertain, so violent, that friendship between individuals becomes a particularly meaningful and enduring thing. So to me, it is the most important relationship that can take place, a friendship between two individuals. That was the primary reason for choosing this, and all my films have been about friendship and loneliness so far. Starting from 36 Chaurangi Lane through Porama, most of my films have been about friendship and loneliness.
Now, how have you managed the finance part for this?
Well, I was very lucky to get a private sector producer to come forward and make a film that was not strictly commercial, that was parallel cinema.
How successful this what is your expectation, its popularity in Bengal especially?
It is of the same genre as 36 Chaurangi Lane, in that there is a direct appeal to the heart. There's a human appeal. So I think it's something that is multi-layered. I've found it to appeal to all classes of people, from the commonest viewer. I found it to appeal to all classes of people, from the common viewer to the critic. So just like 36 Chaurangi Lane did. So in that sense, it has a multi-layered appeal.
How much time have you taken to complete entire?
Very little. We started on the 15th of April, and we censored it by the 31st of August. So it was about 4.5 months.
Now tell me, how important for a filmmaker to get entry in the panorama section?
See, it is particularly important for regional filmmakers and for makers of parallel cinema, because their films are not seen elsewhere. And because of the low marketability of these films, or rather the very limited market that exists for regional films, particularly if they are also what is termed as parallel cinema. Therefore, this is really the only showcase for regional cinema and films of this genre. Until there is an arrangement for regional films to be shown in multiplexes all over India, because I do believe there is an audience. It's just that that audience doesn't get exposure to these films because they're not shown anywhere. All the theatres that have been built by NFDC, I mean, a lot of the time they're showing popular films, and popular films have many showcases for them. But Panorama happens to be our only showcase, and for us, foreign audience is important because the domestic audience is so limited.
Do you think it also really affect for the viewers, general masses, to get entry in the panorama? Because some people say if you are selected in the panorama, then means there is a general perception that the film is for a class of audience, not for the masses. Do you agree with that?
Well, perhaps that is true, and it is also true that many films which are selected in the panorama do not have a very wide range of appeal. It is true that many films made and included in the panorama may be films that are not strictly narrative films, that may be of a slightly more experimental nature, and these films also need to be showcased. Otherwise, all films will always be made for the lowest common denominator. I mean, that is not fair on cinema itself.
Now, if we look at this time's competition in a panorama section, that they have selected I think around 16 to 19 films. There is one film, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, is a totally different treatment in every aspect from the other films. What is your comment about it?
See, I haven't seen the film. I'm very keen to see it because I have heard good reports about it, that it is a commercially motivated film, but it is made intelligently and well. This is what I've heard. So I can't really make a comment until I've seen the film, but there is one view that the panorama should include mainstream cinema because that is also representative of Indian cinema. But originally the panorama was started in order to showcase the best of Indian cinema. Now, if a mainstream film happens to be also a very good film by the strictest conditions of filmmaking, then why should it not be showcased? It should.
Have you, are you satisfied with this kind of this time the kind of film they have selected for the panorama?
I haven't seen the films they've selected, so I can hardly comment.
And now I'm coming back to again Paromitar Ek Din. Who are the cast you have chosen?
Well, there's myself in a central role. There's Aparna Sen, who is an actress from Bengal who makes quite a lot of mainstream films. But she's also acted in Dohon, where I liked her very much. And now I selected her because I thought she was quite good. Apart from Aparna Sen, who's quite a well-known actress from mainstream Bengali cinema, there is a complete newcomer called Shohini Haldar. She's the daughter of the actors Rudra Prasad Sengupta and Shati Lekha. And she's a very fine actress, and this is her first appearance in a film. There are also some stage actors, Rajotabo Dotto, who plays Paromitar's first husband, and Rajesh Sharma from Usha Ganguly's troupe, Rangakarmi, who plays Paromitar's second husband. And there is also another actor called Dulal Lahiri who plays my husband in the film. He's also basically a stage actor, but now acts in both serials and feature films.
How do you manage when director
That's one thing. And the other advantage is that you don't have to, as a director, try and extract a performance out of another actor. You're there to, you understand the character and you know how to play the character, so you just play the character. But the problem lies in the fact that you can't observe yourself while you're acting. And there are little things that can be corrected, that I as a director do correct my actors. But I can't do that to myself. But we had a very good, I had a very good helper in Shohag Sen, who conducted the acting workshops. We did about a month of acting workshops before we went on the floor, and this was very important because we were making a film with a very limited budget, and we really shot at a 1:2 ratio, which is absurdly low. But we managed because we didn't have, we hardly had any retakes on account of acting, because all the actors were familiar with the script and familiar with one another. And when you do an acting workshop, then what happens is that the actors know the history of the character. They don't come onto the floor and meet the other characters as characters for the first time. So they seem to know each other's history, they're familiar with each other and familiar with each other's bodies. That's a very, very important factor. So Shohag Sen was there. She was also observing my acting, and she was being quite critical.
After seeing the entire film, I feel that when the spastic, that woman, she was singing in the floor.
The schizophrenic woman.
Yeah. She was singing.
She's not a spastic though.
Oh yeah. She was singing a song in the last part of the film. Before I forgot that particular song. And in fact, after that, you have extended the film that she had gone like that main actress, apart from the mother.
You are saying that when she announces that she's going to get divorced, then I break down, and then my daughter, the schizophrenic daughter.
Yeah, there was one sequence that the Shraddha was on.
Yeah, and she's still singing.
She's still singing. Do you think that was a ideal area to finish the film?
No. No, because the film also celebrates life. So it's important that you have Paromitar's the news of Paromitar's unborn son, unborn child, that the new arrival. Because while there is death, there is also life.
What's your expectation in the international market?
I don't know. I didn't make the film with any particular market in mind, but everyone seems to be liking it, and well, one hopes that the producer will get his money back.
What is your next project?
I haven't decided, but there is a dream project for which I would like to appeal for funds, and this is as good a platform as any. I want to make a film with an international cast in English called Sitayan, the story of Sita. From the time that Sita is banished for the second time while she's pregnant till the time that she goes into the earth, because she's at the confluence of the Copper Age and the Iron Age, which is a long, long time ago, prehistory. She is in a startlingly contemporary predicament where she's practically a divorcee and a single mother. So this is what I want to do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.